Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. Another day in the life. My channel is new, and when I started it, I didn't think I would be on here doing commentary or voiceover on some media. I guess things change. The channel's going to evolve. I pay taxes, so I have an opinion, just like everyone else. And these are just some of my random thoughts on events going on in the world today, events happening here in this country, and just my general feeling on things. I'm going to start off by first saying, yes, I tend to vote left, and I would consider myself to be a moderate liberal. I say moderate because in the 2016 elections, I honestly thought our former governor, Kasich, should have been the choice for president. I thought he did a pretty decent job here in Ohio, and that's just my opinion. Before that, I did vote for former President Barack Obama. Bill Clinton was the first time I was old enough to actually vote, and I do tend to vote Democratic ticket in the presidential elections. I have to hear what the person's talking about. I don't just blindly go Democrat. That being said, I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on some things happening in the world today. By a very slim majority, we have a president now who is a 34 count felon, was great friends with a convicted pedophile, and has been alleged to be a pedophile himself. He was also the main driver behind the January 6 riots. How that same person would be allowed to again run for president is unfathomable. However, obviously, it isn't really so important that you're an honest person, that you're a person that conducts yourself with dignity. More what's important is, can you get the vote so that we can keep power? And we'll look past all the other stuff just as long as we have the power. I also think the Republican Party has very weak leadership. They've lost touch of who they really are, and they've caught up in this moment of MAGA. And the Republican Party used to be the liberals. They were the ones that freed the slaves. I'm not really understanding where they're going to be when Trump is done and MAGA is no more. Are you going to find a new identity, or is this going to be it going forward? Because this is not the party of Reagan. That being said, that's it for where I'm going to go on the politics issue. I have other things I want to unload off my chest. So, my next rant is going to be something that's hit home now that I'm middle aged, and it should affect everyone at some point in their life. And I think everyone can agree that it's become a problem. It's healthcare. I am in debt with bills. 2 years ago, I got back from a vacation in Miami, and one day, come home from work, just feeling awful. I never leave work. And my condition deteriorated, went to the hospital, and I was told that I had COVID. And not only did I test positive for COVID, but I also had sepsis, and that I was going to be admitted into the hospital. And that's where the journey began for me. Um, COVID is no joke when it hits you. And I know that foolishly, the previous version of COVID that I had, uh, I was thinking, this is the big deal, really? But this time around, I didn't even know I had COVID. I had showed no symptoms. I worked at a place which used facial recognition for you to clock in and clock out, breaks, lunch, whatever. And it took your temperature. So 4 times a day at work, my temperature is being taken. I feel fine. I remember I went to the gym a few times during this period that I had supposedly had COVID for this long, according to them. Um, but yeah, they got me together. It took several months. I went in and out of the hospital 3 times. I had a PICC line put in my arm, and I was on antibiotics between oral and the IV 6 months to clear this blood infection up. It really was a game changer for me. It made me closer to God, I feel, or at least more spiritual. Um, I'm not going to say that it made me a better person. That's for other people to decide. I hope that I was a good person already. But, the cost that it incurred has put me in a hole financially. And I have bill collectors coming wanting money. So healthcare is really something that's important to me. The price is gotten ridiculous. The burden upon the individual, when this country has no problem loaning billions to other countries, has no problem giving billions to other countries, has no problem giving tax cuts to billionaires. But yet you, Joe Public, Joe Average, Joe Blue Collar Worker, there's no love for you. Deal with it. Pay for your own health care. No matter that the wages are not keeping up with housing costs, I really, really feel bad for the folks that have kids. I don't have any of my own, unfortunately. I never, that didn't happen for me. I realize as I'm older, that's something that I missed out on. It is what it is. But yeah, healthcare is something that I just don't see how there's so much importance on what is going on in the world by our politicians when we have so many deep problems here in this country that should be getting addressed. The attention shouldn't necessarily be, I don't feel, so much on what's happening overseas, thousands of miles away. You have your own war here in America. It's poverty. It's the lack of proper health care. You have too often you hear people saying, I can't afford that when they need some medical attention. myself included. There are times right now, actually, there's something I'm gonna eventually have to go to the doctor, but it's hard to go to the doctor when you have a bill collector coming for you and on the other end. I don't have the answers for what that is, but it's hard for me to swallow that there is so much money for war and destruction, but there's nothing for your citizens in the form of at least a national health care program. The One of the most industrialized nation, the only industrialized first world nation that does not include national health care for its citizens. And it's not like there's no idea or how to make it work. There's several other countries that have this, and you can grab those concepts and apply it and make it your own. Instead, we still have concepts of a plan from a man who only was interested in dismantling Obamacare. I don't have Obamacare. I have private insurance. But my question is, if you were so wanting to dismantle what was at least this one option for people, you should have had your plan B in place. It's obviously not anything at all that you care about other than removing everything that was with concepts of a plan that you don't care about. Anyway, I didn't want to get into politics again, but here it is. So as we approach the exit for my job, you'll notice on the left-hand side there's a panhandler. They work shifts. I tell you, we have an attendance problem at work. But these guys, no matter what, the cold, the rain, they're on their spot. And only one person is allowed at a time. But you'll notice that's downtown Cleveland on the left on the screen here. You'll notice that there'll be a lady holding a sign. She's waving to people. So usually it's an older guy with a beard. He's a vet, if you believe his sign. Sometimes, I haven't seen her a little bit. It's a aggressive black lady, and she'll actually knock on your window, and they work the corners. Even if I go on my break, I start at 10 o'clock, and I go on my break, let's say 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, there's somebody working that corner, no matter what day of the week it is. I don't live in the downtown Cleveland area, but I have gone to stores and whatnot on my break, and they have a issue there with the homeless. And I don't know how often I've given money to them because, yeah, I mean, I get it. It might not necessarily hurt me. I have it there to give, but realistically, it does kind of hurt me because I can't afford my medical bills. It's tough making ends meet sometimes. What you work for can be spent so quickly and easily. I could get paid, and then after paying my bills, I could be broke again within a few clicks of a screen. Anyway, so this homeless lady, she's here on the left hand side. I My heart goes out to her. I'm glad it's not cold anymore for them. I couldn't imagine being out in the temperatures here in Northeast Ohio in the winter. Some of them do it though. But yeah, that's my last rant of the day is the homeless situation. Some of them have I get mental health issues and they don't want help. Other ones have drug addiction problems. It's not right that some communities actually criminalize poverty. The local government wanted to do something about the homeless situation where I live. And if you read the proposal, which thank God it didn't pass, essentially what it was going to do is criminalize people for being poor and not having a place to stay. What is your solution to the problem? Criminalizing them for being homeless and do what? Put them to jail? Come up with a solution first. Give them that option. Make sure it's a good solution before you pass a law that has teeth and puts people in prison, or not prison, but jail, and causing them to have fines and court taking up the docket for I'm impoverished and I can't. That's just not right. Well, if you're still watching this video, I really want to thank you for taking the time to give me your opinion on what I could improve on, what you liked, what you didn't like. Uh, New to this, so I'm hoping to just get better at it. It's something that I realize I do like doing, so it's wouldn't mind getting to where a point where the channel grows enough that I could do this full time. To be honest with you, it's better than working somewhere. But we're almost done with the video. I'm going to cruise by downtown Cleveland here. I'm gonna show you guys the bright light, a piece of the bright lights in big city, because the truth is that I'm just early for work and did this just to kind of test some of my new equipment that I've recently purchased, and I'm still learning how to do this editing stuff and trying to get better and improve at it. Um, Trying to be creative with it. I had a idea to do a thing with I have a drone that I honestly never used, and I had a video I was going to put it together and show you guys, but the thing had kind of sat in my closet for a couple years. Sometimes you just forget about things and you don't ever get back to them. And sure enough, the technology has changed in that 2, 3 year span that I'm out here trying to play with it one day finally, and
but
the
I have to go
technology
and
isn't
create some
supported
kind of a
anymore.
ticket.
So I
It's
have
a
pretty much a useless
whole lot of
drone here.
brouhaha
To get to where it needs to get. But I do want to provide footage with the drone and show you guys certain perspectives. I live along the coast here, and the Cleveland area is beautiful in the summertime. Honestly, I would put it up to anywhere else in the country in the summer. The winter months, the winter can be brutal here. It can get double digit below zero negative temperatures when the lake has frozen solid and that breeze is coming off the shore. No, you don't want to be anywhere around there. There's a gas station not far from where I live. It's not far from the marina at the lake. You will put that hose into your gas tank and go back to your car and sit down when the wind is blowing. Trust me, winters here are brutal. This is where I'm going to cross over the bridge and we're going to touch along the side of downtown Cleveland. Kind of, they've set up these cool looking lights on the bridge. It is a nice view as you do cross into the city. But I'm like I said, I'm just early for work, so I did this little quick video, and we're gonna cruise along the side of the city. Just gonna play some music and call the video a day, and get off to work and do my thing.